Hello, and welcome to the Comedian's Paradise. Now, today's guest is a comedian all the way from Romania. He beats Andrew Tate up for a living.
At chess, only at chess, just to make it
Okay.
clear. I'm
And,
good at chess, not at boxing.
and his name is Calin Gheorghiu.
You got that one right. Thanks, Marvin. Really appreciate it.
And what would you... Yeah, welcome, Calin. He's an awesome guest, and he loves the Comedian's Paradise. What do you make of the title? No, I'm checking.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of an overpromise, but I see if I can live up to the hype. Comedian's
No, it's all
Paradise.
good.
We're gigging every day. Hecklers not allowed. Is that what the paradise is?
No, the reverse. I want hecklers all the time. I want people to be roasted, to be ripped apart. No, it is funny. I do like the heckle night for two reasons. I like, in a very odd way, seeing comedians be uncomfortable and not know what to do. And I also like seeing the comebacks and what heckles there are. I mean, my friend came up with the funniest heckle of the night, saying to Gary Sansom, the Scottish guy at the end, saying, "You look like what did she say? She said
Boris
you look
No. Boris Johnson, was it? Or
no, she said you look like a sporty Humpty Dumpty."
okay, the Humpty Dumpty. Okay, and then it went on with a bit for like another few minutes. It was amazing. Such a good night.
Ah, it was fun. Yeah, I loved the heckles. The crowd were amazing as well. They really got involved in it.
Yeah, so thanks a lot for having me. It was near Wimbledon and I had to travel for this. And I just got to the place and it was like a big field of nothing. And it's like, is this the comedy show? Are we doing a stadium? Because I didn't realize the location was actually open. And I freaked out. I had no battery, but I just saw your selfie on Instagram and I said, okay, this guy is in front of the bar, so I can go in.
Oh, okay. So
That's
my
how I got the
Instagram.
location. Yeah, yeah, I'm a stalker, officially a stalker now. So that's how I got the location. And then I went in, I met you. It's like, okay, seems interesting. And then when I saw the heckle notes, I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. And then they asked me to sing during it, and it was good. They also asked me to strip naked, but I said no, compared to other acts who actually agreed to this deal. But I don't know if you want to go into too
Well,
many details with that.
yeah, I don't know if I should have agreed to it, but it's just that I said up so much and they kept on clamoring so much, and I just thought, bloody hell, I really put myself in there. I didn't want to do it, but they kept pushing and pushing, so I did.
Yeah, so for those listening, there's a video of Marvin as Asian Zorro, basically stripping and going on with the bit in the heckle night. So I think that's comedy gold. I told him later on when he's doing Apollo, he can do the same bit again and just just kill.
Yes, and they all played at the top as well, guys. They shared it around like pass the parcel because it smelt.
Yeah, man, that's what you get on a heckle night. It was really, really good.
What
So when
was
is
your...
that? Yeah,
Sorry, what
when
are
is
you
that
gonna say?
happening? Yeah, when is that happening? Is it every Friday or
So I run
often
a
is it?
show in that venue on the third Friday of the month,
Okay.
but I'm doing it. Next one's on October 17th, but I am gonna be running some more shows. So we'll
Okay.
probably be running it either once a month or once every other month. But I've got another night that I do that's a bit wacky as well. It's
Wait.
comedy on the spot. So it's where in the middle of the set there's a noise, and then what happens is they there's a noise, and then in the middle you set, and then a random topic's chosen out of the hat, and you get all sorts of dodgy topics, and then a
Okay.
minute when it's done, and then a minute at the end. So you get all sorts of topics like I someone did a topic called falling in love through back end action, or like falling in
Ooh.
love with the 69.
Okay, okay, with a twist. So they have to improvise on the spot and then but the
Yeah,
topics are from the audience or from you?
from me and the audience.
Okay, so
Uh,
it's a bit of a mix.
But one comic a few months ago tried to screw it up a bit, where he just put his own jokes in there, and I
Oh.
should have stopped him, and I should have, but I thought there's no point. The point of the exercise is to put you on your feet. You can still do your set, but why are you doing it? It
Yeah, it's
just put
just 1 minute, right?
yeah.
So
But it was a bit yeah, I thought it was a bit yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, it's funny. I like seeing comedians be in positions where they don't know what to do.
yeah, that's always fun, and that's how we grow as comics, and also we let loose a bit and have fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Heckle Night. We don't have this in Romania. I think I'll try it. I mentioned to you after the show.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
definitely try it in Romania and tell you how this went because the Romanian crowd they're used to heckle in general, but if it's a heckle night, I think they'll go wilder. So
What do you think their quips are going to be like? Are they going to be more like brutal? Or are they going to be more sort of, what do you think?
yeah, yeah. Actually, one of the last shows I did in Romania, there was this guy who wouldn't stop talking. So every time you do the setup, he was doing his own punchline, and you had to top that every time. And then eventually he got kicked out of the club. So that's my fear that they wouldn't stop talking and make it about themselves. But if that's not happening, then it's gonna be good. They'll be brutal for sure. They'll just go for it and try to heckle as much as they can.
They can be a bit mad, though, the heckles, because I remember in one of the nights I ran with Siobhan and Heckle Night, there was this old guy that came at the end, and he was a bit loud at the beginning. He had a very good entrance, but he did too much. And Siobhan and me, well, he got too much attention during the night, and then he got a bit mad, and then a comedian put him down. He got upset, and then yeah,
He
he
left
tried
or
to attack one of the comedians, and we had to kick him out.
physically? Whoa.
Yeah,
Did you
he
have Chris Rock on the show or what was that?
yes, exactly. He was
Exactly.
watching. No, it was funny in a way because they're both two old guys in their like 60s and
They
50s.
started wrestling.
No, we stood in a way, but he just got up and was about to do something. But it was funny. I don't know why it was funny, but it just seemed funny watching this old geriatric
Yeah,
man try and attack another guy. That was also a bit.
it's tricky because we as comedians we understand the boundaries and we can take a joke, but the audience they can take it a bit personal. It's like, oh, I paid the ticket, you need to respect me, which is totally fine. But sometimes when comedians cross a line, it can get like this. I've never had a physical assault, but yeah, it can get tricky. So how did it got resolved? Did the guy leave or just he's now a
I don't,
comedian? He turned
no, definitely
origin
not.
story, comedian origin story.
I don't know what happened, but Siobhan did the nicest ever way of getting rid of someone that I've ever seen. I can't remember what she said or how she did it, but she just did it perfectly, where there's no way he could have got annoyed or got aggressive or anything. She said, "Oh, something along the lines, it's been great to have you here, but some things have happened. We just can't have you here anymore." I don't know, something along those lines, but she did it such a nice way, he couldn't get offended. Whilst if I said it, I don't know, it may have made things worse, but it just was
Especially in
so,
the Zorro accent. That
yes.
don't think it would calm him down. You need to leave right now.
He'll probably think it was a kink.
Yeah, Siobhan is amazing. She was a great MC
What
Friday.
what do you think makes her such a good host?
I think the attitude and she's enjoying it. She's genuinely enjoying it. She's not like on repeat, oh, I have to do this gig and getting through the acts. She actually wants to be there. And she was involved in the heckles, like also controlling the crowd and the comedian, like keeping it balanced. I think she did a lot of things and yeah, keeping the energy high. It was good.
And she's a very warm person. She seems to
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
people.
Exactly. And people like her. So that kind of energy, like she made it a lovely room.
What's it? So you do a lot of comedy in Romania.
Yeah. Yes, I
What's
do.
it? What's like? What was your journey into doing comedy into Romania?
Yeah.
And what have you found to be the difference between the UK and Romanian comedy scenes?
So I started out in 2021. It was still a pandemic then. And I just signed for an open mic. I wanted to be in the audience actually because it was the pandemic, nothing was happening. And then the guy who was booking it was like, oh, we're out of places in the audience. You can go on stage because we don't have enough comedians. And I was like, okay, what? At least I'll get to see the gig and I'll be on stage. I had no idea this is how you start comedy. I was like a big fan of comedy, but never imagined you can actually do it. It was that kind of gap between how one start comedy. I had no idea. Then I went on stage and it was really, really well. I got the laughs and everything and the applause break, and I said, okay, I'll just do this forever. But that's pretty much it, because in my normal life I did maths. I was a professional chess player, so everything was really calculated, and I had to make every decision right. But with comedy, I could just go with the flow and do whatever I feel like. So that's the appeal to it. It's like quite the opposite of what I usually do, like everything mathsy, chess related, strategy, logical. In comedy, I can just play around and have fun with it. So I started in a smaller town, my hometown of Iași, Romania. And then I started traveling a bit to do open mics in Bucharest, which is the biggest scene, and also in Cluj. Then I went back to Iași, started my own weekly night. And I did that for like 3 years in Iași with shows on and off. But then this year I moved to Bucharest, which has like 4 comedy clubs, more nights. People are gigging 3 or 4 times a week. So that's what I'm doing at the moment to increase my stage time. And in London, I went last year for the first time visiting a friend, and I just emailed a bunch of nights, and I got accepted to the Blackout up at the creek. I had no idea what this is, how tough it will be. I just went on stage. I was really nervous and got the laughs and went through and won the night. I was like, okay, it was just another gig. But then people told me, oh, that's quite big. People are struggling to do this for like a long time, but the fact that I didn't realize how important it was made me a bit more relaxed. And then this year, I didn't do any gong shows. I just signed up for open mics, for the Heckle show, and I did a bunch of other shows to see like the local scene more rather than the big clubs. And I just love it that there are so many sort of micro communities that they're doing comedy. They have their own groups and so on. It's so big. I think it's, I don't know, 100 times bigger than Bucharest in terms of frequency of gigs. And I gigged every day since I was here, and I, I felt the material was better, the way my English was translating the Romanian ideas was better, and I really enjoyed the community. I felt the love and the fact that we are different cultures but have the same passion. I think that's lovely that we can communicate. And yeah, I'd love to come back. And actually, I got I not addicted, but I got really hooked on, and I think I'll go to Edinburgh next month as well for a week to gig there and play along, because I did uni in Edinburgh, but I never been to the Fringe. I had no idea that stand up was so big there, even though I was studying in Edinburgh.
Give it a go. It's 2 shows that I'll recommend a couple of shows.
Yeah, go ahead.
Watch Ruben K's K-Hole. It's a
Okay.
mad show.
Okay.
I don't want to go reveal too much. Um, but there's a good lady of popcorn. And then there's the Gary Starr's supposed to be really good. Phil Ellis is good.
Phil
Uh,
Ellis, I saw him last night. I have to tell you about his set, but just after the recommendations.
what's he like, Phil Ellis? I hear
Yeah,
his show is amazing, I hear.
it was the craziest set I've ever seen. So, but you have any more recommendations from Edinburgh, or that's the
Uh,
couple?
but those three, I can recommend. Hate and Live is good. That's good. That's a mad improv night. Drunken Hecklers is good.
Drunk Heckler.
Uh,
And you can just sign up, or you go as an audience member.
you can go as both. I think if you message David Tassonis and say that you're a comedian from abroad, he'll probably help you out.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
then
great.
there's Roast Battle, which can be fun. I don't know about getting on like as a performer. I don't know the rules for it. Um, but yeah, it's a good show to watch.
We have
Uh,
Rose Battle in Romania as well, so that's pretty
ah,
popular. So it's cool.
so it's great for joke writing. A lot of comics. I'm not being good at it, but I'm. It's. Do you enjoy it yourself with the roast
So
battles?
different, because in stand up you can save a joke, you can do an act out and something, but with roast battle you just have this one tiny joke, and if it doesn't land, it doesn't land, and you're sitting there in the silence, and then the opponent, boom. as like a kid. So it's different, and yeah, it's just 100% writing. Have to put the toppers, have the visuals, and everything.
That's true. What else is there? There's those those shows. Um, I think that's mostly it so far that I can think of.
I'll check out
Um,
Gary's. The bald man
yeah, he's
sings
good.
Rihanna. I think that
Oh yes,
title is
Gary
crazy.
Sansom. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he was on Friday. He was really really good.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, he went very it was he got the best heckle of the night though. I wonder if
Yeah,
he's gonna write that down as a joke about a sporty Humpty Dumpty. My friend gave him such a good heckle. I
yeah, it
reckon
can
he
go
could
on.
write that as a joke.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the good thing about heckles. It can turn into actual material.
Yeah, definitely. I someone said that I look like the hamburger thief from McDonald's dressed as
And then
Zorro.
it was your joke, right?
Yes, but I think I did it
Oh,
at the
okay.
wrong time. So I remember I did that joke to test it out as a start. I said, why I look like this, and it's worked a couple of times, but I think I need to change it a bit. The one joke that generally works quite well is when I take the mask off and my disabilities, I look like Elon Musk. That
Yeah,
generally works quite
okay.
well, but it didn't
See
work
that.
at the timing.
But I like that reference, for the McDonald's reference. I got happy. It needs a bit more to get the laughs, but I got happy because nobody's referencing that character. It's always about the clown, but never about the side gig.
Ah,
So I
that's
got
true.
okay,
Yeah.
getting some credit to the side gig finally.
Maybe I could have taken a picture. Do I look like him?
Yeah, that could work on social media, growing your following. So yeah, back to the show. So yesterday I did GMB. That was amazing. Thanks a lot to the people there who let me on. And then I went to Top Secret. That's my favorite club in London. I got a membership card, so I have free access from Sunday to Wednesday. And I finished the gig, and I said, okay, I'll just see what's down there. And I saw Phil Ellis downstairs, and then he
Ah,
was also upstairs doing the second set. So I saw both sets. The first one downstairs, he was really, really good. He was just doing his material, but upstairs it was crazy. He went on stage, did a bit of crowd work, and then this guy had a backpack in the front row, and he said, "Can I search it?" And this guy was like, "Okay." He found a jacket, and then he puts it on. So he strips, and then he puts the jacket on. He doesn't really fit the jacket, but really funny. And then he keeps on searching the backpack, and he finds little girls' dresses, like really, really weird. And everybody goes, "What's happening? Is this guy weirdo or what's happening?" And then he asks, "Do you have a daughter?" And he was like, "No, no, no, I don't have a daughter." And there was this 5 minute tension. It was like, "What's this dress about?" And then he goes again in the backpack, another little girl's dress. And he had like four of those. And in the end, we found out that it was for his godchild. But it was so funny and the tension was there. And he just did that and then a bit of material. But his set was mostly about searching the backpack. And it was the most random thing I've seen. And the crowd went crazy. And I really, really, really like that.
do you like the mad moments in comedy?
Yeah, because with material it's like okay, I've seen this hundreds of times, but when someone is searching a random backpack and found some weird stuff and then makes jokes about it, I think it's just one time.
Yes.
It will only happen one time, and I was just glad to be there because another set would be like, okay, this guy is a great comic, but this one sticks to me. It's a story, so I was really happy to be there.
He's incredible. He's a well-revered comic, and he's won quite a few comedy awards in Edinburgh. So yeah, he won the Malcolm Hardy. Yeah, he won the Malcolm Hardy, which is a award that rewards you for being very weird.
Okay, okay, okay. Will you sign up with Asian Zorro with it?
Yes, definitely, definitely.
We have a contender.
Uh,
And then I also saw yesterday a Top Secret Kyra Gray. I don't know if you know her.
oh, the yes, I know her. Yeah,
Yeah,
what's she
yeah.
like?
She was amazing. The her flow, and she was so articulate. The way she was talking, like so clean. The jokes were so good. And then I went home and watched a bunch of her sets. Amazing. I really really enjoyed the style. Like so clean, laid back, and I was really glad I found her because I so many great comics you cannot hear about. everyone. You just hear the big names, but her, I was really happy to see her set and then look her comedy online. So yeah,
That,
you asked me about the differences, right?
yeah.
Many differences. The scene is far, far bigger here, and I really, really enjoy it. And I feel like I'll take some ideas and try it out in Romania, see how that goes.
Well, but what the comedians like over in Romania? Like I remember you telling me that Radu Isaac was like a top dog in Romania, and you can see anyone that's seen him in the UK can see why he's
Yeah,
so revered back in Romania.
Radu.
He's great here as well.
Yeah, Radu was one of the best comics in Romania, but at the same time, his material was a bit not necessarily too edgy, but sometimes maybe too intellectual for the crowds. And then stand up wasn't that w- evolved there. So stand up is only around for 20 years in Romania. So Radu got on early, and then the crowds were like, "Oh, this guy is amazing." He had a good career, but I feel like he didn't enjoy it that much. He couldn't push his ideas to the fullest. And then when he got here, he found his voice, and now he's pushing a lot of interesting ideas. I watched him Saturday downstairs at the King's Head. Such a good set, and with ideas that stick to you and against the usual way of thinking. And I like that he's provoking, thought provoking, and also really really funny. So he found the right mix, and here the audience is so wide that he got his piece of the pie. So he's amazing, and the others are like it's a mix of TV celebrities that have started stand up and now they have like sitcoms and they're doing TV shows and they're really really famous. The biggest venue in Romania they can do is like 4,000 seats, and they usually do it once a year, and it's a bunch of these people that do it. So we have the big names that started 20 years ago and now they're really big. We have and then there's this second generation that's been doing it for like 5 to 10 years that they're slowly going up and doing theaters. And now it's my generation that are trying out to do like roast battles, trying to go on competitions and so on. So it's growing. It's definitely growing, and the crowd is up for new acts. So I'd say it's a good time for comedy in Romania, but it can be better. We never really try different nights like gong nights. We don't have that, and a bunch of stuff you have here. We don't really do. We just do open mics or shows. And that's it. Just recently, it was a bit of a crowd work show. I don't know if you have that. Probably have just crowd work only show. Is that a thing here?
We've got a couple of them. I know there's a lot of them in Edinburgh where people do that.
Okay, yeah. In Romania, we have this guy who's doing it every Saturday at midnight at a club, and he does crowd work. And the fact that it's so late in the night and the audience likes him, it gets really wild. So that I would say is something new for Romania, just crowd work only shows.
With the Romanian scene as well, so it's been going for around 20 years.
Yeah.
Is there, so like, obviously the London scene is a lot more established, but is it a similar kind of, do you see it's a similar kind of vibe with comics in terms, and is it the same sort of thing, like you get seen by a certain name, you get recommended to a big club, you progress, and then you get on TV and stuff like that, or?
You can grow around the clubs, so around the big comics. If you're really good, they can get you on tour opening for them. But what we don't have is like these small communities. Like, okay, this guy is running his show, they'll invite people and so on, and growing a community around a specific show. We don't have that. So communities are just around clubs. And the clubs have their headliners, their middlers, and then new acts opening. And I found it quite uh, rigid, because if you maybe don't vibe with one of the clubs, then you don't really have a choice. But what
Ah,
I'm trying to do is like have some nights here and there and build communities around that. So the communities are only built around the big clubs. So there's no such thing as a smaller community, like, okay, these guys are just doing Tuesdays on some random bar. We don't have that, but I would love help build that, because I feel the sense of community is what makes comedy great.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. So it there's this one. So it's okay. Okay. Okay.
It's just the comedy clubs that have the community vibe. And also, one of the clubs launched a platform, and they're doing their specials there only. So it's a subscription based. They started a year ago, and that's really interesting because they went off YouTube and they're just doing this platform called Comedy Box. It's like €7 a month, and they built a whole ecosystem there with like podcast shows, specials, and they're trying this out, and it's working quite well. So subscription based, and they have the budget to invest in new show ideas and so on.
And how with when you're developing a joke in Romanian and doing it in English, what's the process usually like? Because I heard from Sugar Sammy, who's a comedian.
Okay.
It's a funny name,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's a funny name. Sugar.
Sounds like a kink or some sort of pimp, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
rapper. But he does comedy in French and English, but he says that English is the quickest, is the best language that takes you. It's the language that takes you the quickest to the punchline. Do
Yeah,
you
I
think that?
I also feel that. So first time I did in English was like 2 years ago at an open mic in Romania, and then up at the creek when I had some experience. So I've been doing comedy for 3 years, and I felt like I don't know, the language helps you, like the way melodically it sounds better, so you can get to the punchline, you can do your sort of breaks, and it hits better. But with Romania, we have like a lot of weird words, and sometimes you gotta work a lot to find the perfect words for the
Okay.
joke. But for me, for example, in English, my vocabulary is not that vast, so I have a few words that I can mix around, and it's usually this simple wording, and then the joke works. I have the idea, and then I just choose the simplest words. But in Romania, even during on stage, my brain is like, oh, you can use this word, maybe this word. There's so many word choices that it gets a bit complicated because the vocabulary is a bit different. But in English, it helps that my vocabulary is not that well evolved, and then I'll just go to the joke. There's nothing more I want to tell. I don't want to tell people about myself or my
Okay.
my therapy journey or something. I'll just go to the joke. But in Romania, it's like I feel like, okay, we can talk a bit. I'm straying away from jokes sometimes because I feel more at home. But here it's just joke after joke, and the crowds are actually laughing on track. So if you do the setups, the punchlines, and you're on the beat, they keep laughing. That's what I like. They're used to laughing on the comedy rhythm, if that makes sense.
But you're saying that in Romania they don't
In Romania,
always.
they don't. Maybe the clubs have that, but because the audience is not that used to comedy, they're like they don't really get that rhythm. I was like, okay, laughing, laughing, topper, callback, and stuff like that. They'll be like, ooh, what is this? And you have to mix around, maybe do a bit of crowd work to get them on. So you need to build a wider toolkit. While here, you can just do your material, and people are like, oh, okay, this is nice. We know what this guy is doing.
What's like the so what's a joke that you have that you use for both English and Romanian, and how do you
Okay.
adjust it for both?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll use my so I went to therapy, and first time I went there, that's a true story. The therapist there told me I'm bisexual, and I was like, okay, what? It was so weird for me, and so on. And that was a whole story. And then it was a male therapist, and then later on he went on to kiss me. So that was really weird. It was like an abuse story. But yeah, so the bit I'm doing is like he told me I'm bisexual, and I was like, what does that mean? He said that means you like men and women, and I'm like, women too? And that's the joke. That's the joke, right? And in Romania it kills because the topic is so tense. Like we're not that it's a bit of a taboo, like sexuality topic is a bit of a taboo in Romania. So I get the tension, and then when I do the joke, it's like it kills. But here, if you're telling people, okay, my therapist told me I'm bisexual, people are like, okay, that's really normal. There's no tension. So tension points are quite different here. If
Oh,
if
okay.
that makes sense. Eventually, I managed to land the joke through timing and just shortened it out. But in Romania, some subjects they are really tense, and then the joke hits harder because they're already emotionally involved. If that makes sense.
D- But when you're saying the same, okay, so there's difference in the culture, but in terms of the language as well, is it the way you perform it have to be completely different?
Yeah. So in English, it's just simple words because that's basically all I know. And in Romania, you can sometimes get away with like weirder words, and especially
Okay.
wordplay is the best example. I have just one wordplay in my English set that was suggested by someone in an open mic because I play chess and I'm a pawn addict. You know, that's the joke. But then I don't have wordplays in English because I'm not that skillful with the language. But in Romania, I have a lot of wordplays that are melodically, and they get the set to the next level. So that's another example. Having wordplay, not really, and puns and stuff like that. That's not really natural to me in English.
And so you said that the audiences in England they laugh on beating them more, but what's
Yeah, I would say they know the rhythm.
with so when you're um, did you notice anything different in terms of the humor, the type of humor that Romanians in English, well, people in the UK use?
Yeah, yeah. I'll go back to the same idea. Like if you go to taboo topics in Romania or maybe a bit of dirty, they'll be like, ooh, and laugh of that because it's some tense subject. But here, I feel like there's no taboo subject. So you gotta make the joke really good. You cannot really hack your way to like talk about
Oh,
it.
okay, okay.
In the joke needs to be really good. Another thing is in Romania, they give you credit if you're famous. So if a famous guy goes on stage, oh, this must be really funny. If I go on stage, I have to win them over. Like first few minutes, I need to do my best material to win them over. But here, they're like, oh, this guy's doing comedy. Let's hear what he has to say. So they're a bit more open to new acts, the way I see it, because they understand the way comedy works. But in Romania, they'll be like, oh, who's this guy on stage? Is he funny? He needs to prove it right away. Otherwise, we'll not listen. We'll just wait for the headliner.
But what you said there about in terms of famous people,
Yeah.
they do get a leg up, like when they're doing a set because they're so well known. That still translates over to here and everywhere. That like the first couple of minutes or so, people will assume they're good. But I do know there was one instance where someone was on a famous sitcom. He didn't do stand up for very long. He's doing it. He's okay now because he's been doing it a bit longer. But he went up on stage in the Glee and he bombed horribly. And
What
comedians saying in
the?
the green room saying he thinks he can do in a couple of months what I've been doing for 20 years.
Yeah.
And he
Okay.
went with the flow of being called like I don't want to say his name. He's
Yeah,
got
yeah, of
like
course.
I'll say Jimbo, Jimbo, Jimbo. That's not his name. I'm just covering
Yeah.
his name. But he went with the flow, which he probably shouldn't have. And yeah, it, and also if you're like I know I had an Irish comedian in the podcast, like Joe Staunton. He says when he goes to America because he's Irish, it's like an exotic accent to them. So they give him like they say you get your first 2 minutes free because you're a little bit different.
Yeah, that's a great point because that's what I feel happened to me in the blackout. I think I won the night because I was the sort of weird act, like the accent. I was struggling a bit, and it's like, oh, this guy can actually make jokes. We're surprised he can speak in English, but actually having jokes, I think that's a good point. If you're coming from another culture and so far away, they give you some credit. Okay, this guy has come all the way from Romania. At least let's hear what he has to say. And I think the bar is a bit lower. Like if they see me struggle in English and be like, "Oh, that's a joke." Okay, we're happy for him. He made it. He found the right words. So that's actually a good point. You get some credit just for being a bit different.
It also sounds funnier as well. If you're from an, like this is like my a lot of my Asian relatives are quite funny in English because sometimes they will say things that sound a bit funny.
Yeah,
I was,
exactly.
it's like adding ketchup to chips, I would say.
Okay, okay, okay.
No, I don't know.
Makes makes sense because I think the audience maybe is used to the same type of language and the same British kind of jokes, and when something new comes in, it's just fresh.
I think so. When I do Asian Zorro, I think the outfit and the voice give a little bit as well because it's so ridiculous and stupid. There's a bit of leeway there because the outfit and the voice.
I love Asians. So you gig both as Asian Zorro and as Marvin?
Mostly it's Asian Zorro, but there's a couple of I've got a couple of jokes that I want to develop on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I think maybe in a couple of weeks or so I might gig a bit more as me. Because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu it's a good sport and it's funny, but some of the terms they use are sound very gay. And you can make, they say it's a masculine sport, and you see all these guys cauliflower ears, but they got all these positions like you take the mount, you take the back, or like reverse triangle and stuff like that. They all
Reverse
sound
triangle.
like sex positions or, like I
Yeah, I
did a
can see that.
Kimura. It sounds so dodgy. And when and there's a joke going on TikTok about if you fight with a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu man, they go on their back. And what's it called? When I said to my friend that I got injured doing BJJ, I have to always like correct it and say Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, not the sex act. And that
Oh, okay.
they always when you say BJJ, they think it's bloody.
Yeah, I know what I mean. Okay, that's a good premise. And you think Asian Zorro wouldn't handle BJJ jokes? I
No, I
think.
don't know. If what I sometimes do is I'll write the joke as me, and
Okay.
then maybe I'll start trying to find a way to fit it in. So I made a joke about a girl with IBS. I said I had a sex with a girl with IBS, and I say
Okay.
the anal was shit, and I say
Oh,
this joke is shit. But then for Zorro, Asian Zorro, I say, do you know how Asian Zorro became a superhero? And I say, by eating Catherine Zeta-Jones. And they say
oh.
that, like, it's a dirty joke. I say at the end, because it's quite a dodgy joke. I say, do you know why they say sex can make or break a relationship. And I say that she had IBS. And I say the anal was shit. And then
Ah,
but,
okay.
but that joke is it is funny, but it's a bit dodgy. So I'll do it towards the end of the set. I don't
Yeah,
really
makes
do it.
sense.
I only say it if I got people on side.
Okay, regarding the costume acts, I saw another costume this week. A guy uh, going around as Willyman. I don't know if that's a thing. He was dressed in Superman, and of course, he had the wheelie hanging around, the prosthetic wheelie. And I made a picture with him, and I can't wait to tell my Romanian friends, guys, I saw Willyman live. And I was the act after him, and I made some references to his set, and it was really funny. But yeah, seeing already two people in costumes, it's it's too much for me. I don't think I can handle. But yeah,
Having
it's a
some,
thing.
yeah,
It's a thing here, right?
yeah, it's definitely more so than in America. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's great that people are trying things out and the audience is up for it. And there's no barrier in comedy. And that's the way it should be. Like you can go all the way, costumes, whatever, singing, not singing.
how would it go down in Romania if I dressed up as Asian Zorro?
Agent Zorro, I think it would be crazy because nobody did it. I think a club did it once, like a Halloween night, but they got dressed as Batman or Superman, the usual stuff. But Asian Zorro, I think people will go crazy. I would go crazy. If Asian Zorro was in town, I'll be like, cancel the plans, cancel the wedding. We're going to see Asian Zorro. This guy is there. But do you have like a sword as well, or not really?
uh, well, only with the lady I slept with last night. No, I'm
Oh,
joking.
boom, 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 boom. He's on fire. Asian Zorro
I
in
do. I
a
don't.
comedy club near you.
So I do. I do. I don't have one on me at the moment, no. But I will bring one in. I'm not too sure what kind of sword he should use. Just yeah, I know what sword he should use,
Like a
but I'll bring it
French
in. That's
one
no point.
or
Yeah.
like a, I don't know. Yeah, something like the Olympic sport. I don't know how it's called in English.
Fencing.
Fencing, yeah, like a fencing sword. But yeah, you ever planning on going abroad with Asian Zorro?
I went to Northern Ireland a few months ago, and I made a joke, and I say you're probably wondering why Asians always come to Northern Ireland, and they got a really terrible Chinese dish called the spice bag, which is just onions and a few chicken wings and chips, and it's
Okay.
a big delicacy over there. So I used that as the opening joke, and they loved it. But
But then it went downhill.
it went all right, it went quite well. But I enjoyed it as well. But it actually went even better there than it would in London because there's not many acts doing it.
Yeah, I think that's a niche. How many minutes do you have at the moment with Asian Zorro? How many
Um,
minutes of
it,
material?
not that many. Most of
Not
the
that
stuff
many.
I do
Okay.
is crowd work. I mostly just do crowd work a lot of
Crowd
the
work
times.
Asian Zorro. That's
That's mostly what I do most of the time. If I let's see, I think probably around the moment in terms of just jokes, probably just 2 or 3 minutes. But
okay, really? Okay.
but I do a lot of it with crowd work,
Yeah.
and I can do other stuff as well. Like I do people. There's a few games that I play, but
Okay.
like I can play. I do an arm wrestle thing sometimes, but
Yeah, I was asking if you can do like a one-man show. That was the question, basically.
uh,
At the
no,
moment,
not
not at
yet,
the
not
moment,
yet.
but in progress.
I think next year I could probably have about 20 or 30 minutes. Yeah.
That's great. What would you think of a lineup of just the costume comics? Did that ever happen? Like assemble the comedy Avengers?
There's a wild and wacky comedy show called ACMS, which puts a
Okay.
lot of weird, wacky acts. It could work quite well because it's different. You're giving people an excuse to come. If you just put, but you got to the big thing with comedy in London. There's so many things going on, and with comedy, you're competing against so many things. And in the summer, it's dreadful because they got so many things they'll much rather do than watch a comedy show. Like,
Yeah. Same in Romania. Summer is basically dead.
but doing that, it might do well because it's a different experience. It gives them an extra reason to come along.
Okay. Yeah, that would be fun. I would watch that as an audience member and a comedy fan. I would watch that. But I wanted to ask you, you mentioned about promoting events, right?
Yeah.
I was wondering how does this go? I noticed on Friday some regulars coming back, so that's a way you get people. But how do you usually promote like a normal show, like the Heckle one or some other shows you have? What's the promoting strategy here?
Stripping.
Stripping, yeah, and
No,
putting that on OnlyFans. The Asian Zorro and OnlyFans is up there.
exactly. Yes. I'll give you guys the link afterwards. No, in terms of advertising the show, I mean, I'm mostly just going to a lot of ticketing sites. That's the main thing I do.
And
Um,
they have some promoting emails and stuff, some
yeah.
automatic thing, okay?
The next area that I need to work a lot harder on is the social media side of things, like
Getting the
using
numbers up.
Facebook ads and Instagram, and yeah. But I think and I may need to come up with a few deals here and there. But yeah, mostly just ticketing sites. That's what I do.
Okay, we do Facebook ads a lot, but just near the area of the show. So if the show is in one place, then we do that plus 3 or 4 kilometers, and then we try to do a video or just the poster, and fingers crossed. Sometimes it's working, sometimes not. And also the ticketing sites, they have their actually it's just one big ticketing site in Romania, and they introduced like commercials during the site, so you can buy advertising inside the site. So I think that's
Ah, okay.
crazy. Like they have their own ad system, and then yeah, social media always helps. It feels like we as comics in this world, we need to fight with the algorithms to feed the beast and hope it gives back something.
Exactly.
And yeah, we also try to have like a big name on the. If we have like a slightly big name on the list on the lineup, then people we know they'll come.
Okay. So one of the things that I want to ask you about, so you're from Romania, and
Yeah.
do you get any, so when you came here into Edinburgh, did you get any annoying questions? Because I know that sometimes being Asian, I get some stereotypes thrown at me. But with you being from Romania, do people, they mention
Yeah.
Andrew Tate, they mention, oh, that you do this, you do that, or what's like a misconceptions about Romania that are completely wrong that you get from people from the UK?
Yeah, that's a good question. I got it twice this week. Like somebody asked me, "Where's your accent from?" And I was like, "Romania." And they're like, "Oh, okay." They just left the conversation. I don't know why. Some maybe people had some bad experiences with Romanians. I have no idea. I know statistically, Romanians are the most like the biggest community in London. It's just Romanians, the biggest expat community or something. I saw a statistic.
Okay.
So that's I don't know how people view Romanians in general, but I got some weird looks when saying I'm from Romania. I'm just a chill guy, but saying I'm from Romania, some people go, ooh. Even when we went after the bar, Sean was mentioning, he's a Romanian comic, and some old guy was like, oh, Romanian comic, what is that? Kick him out. That was the
What?
yeah. And then I felt a bit weird, but then I think I don't know the Dracula question. And actually, yeah, I got a question last night. There was a comic on the lineup, and his friend went to Romania and said with milk goes in plastic bags in Romania. That's what he heard about it. And he asked me, "Do you guys go around with plastic bags full of milk in the streets?" And I was like, no, it's not like the 1500s and stuff. But he was just curious to ask, and I was like, okay, no, I think he maybe saw one guy doing it, but it's not like everyone is doing it. And that was a weird question if we transport the milk in plastic bags. But usually, yeah, not that many references. Just the accent is like comes straight away, and people are like, oh, where are you from? And then they don't say much, but they're not like really happy with it. Like, oh, Romania. Nice.
What so I've had a few comedians from New Zealand, Australia, and they got this little rivalry going with like Pavlova, and they fight over who made the cake.
The cake,
And
oh, that's amazing.
they say that is very good. I heard
I
it's
love it.
Russian, but I also heard that
Okay.
they fight over Russell Crowe. Like there's a bit of a banter over there, and people often sometimes aren't always aware of that. But from
Okay.
being Romania, what's like a cultural thing that's you find that's really a lot of fun in Romania, or that people don't know of that they should
Whoa.
know about?
I have no clue. So people are fighting, oh, is this thing from Romania actually? Or
Okay.
yeah, we are known for vampires. That's one thing. But honestly, you cut me off guard there. I don't know much about Romanian culture in the world in general, but I'll look it up after the podcast and I'll have an
Okay.
answer for the next one. I have no idea what we are known for. Actually, no, no. Maybe we have this car manufacturer called Dacia. Maybe you've
Okay.
heard that, but I think it was bought out by Renault, so now it's a French company, but it was originally a Romanian company, and sometimes we can get recognized. Oh, is this brand Romanian? The Dacia car brand.
Uh, if someone goes into Romania, what food or drink do they need to try out? And what
For
experiences should they try? What are things
yeah,
like if they come in, a
so
lot of people are not aware that they should
for
try?
drinks, I'll start with the drinks because that's we have like some really strong spirits, Romanian made called Palinka or Tsuika. They're like 60, 70 degrees of alcohol. So that's big yes. You can try it out at basically any gift shop or local shop. We have amazing wines. If people are into wine, we have a lot of Romanian wines. They have prices and everything. And in terms of food, just try everything. It's a bit meaty out there, so not that veg friendly. And yeah, it's a mixture of like Turkish cuisine and stuff like that, maybe a bit of Russian cuisine, so Balkan food. But yeah, they should try like sarmale. It's like cabbage rolled with a lot of meat inside it. Mama liga. polenta, I think it's in English. That's good. So yeah, just go to your local restaurant, and the borscht is good. The borscht is actually amazing. The soups here, we call them borscht and chorba, and they are really, really, really tasty. And yeah, desserts, I would go for papanash. It's like a donut with some yogurt and jam on it. So papanash is really, really good. And in terms of experiences, go to the mountainside. A lot of mountains in Romania, like Brașov side, of course, the Dracula Castle. Then in Bucharest, pretty much everything, the old town, if you want to party or do a walking tour of the, I don't know, the big buildings, or go to a comedy club. Who knows?
Of course.
Maybe they will host an English show when they're around. But yeah, for food and drinks, they'll have a good time. And also the nightlife is good in Romania. It's going until the morning. Here it's usually ending around 2 or 3 a.m. But in Romania, we party all night, baby. So yeah, it's good. It's good. The party life is good.
And how do you avoid the dodgy things in Romania?
How do you avoid the dodgy things? I guess don't go to dark alleys. Keep it on the main street, and don't use the cab that often. I would recommend people to take the apps if there's Uber in town. Take the apps, because the cab drivers, they can sometimes trick the international tourists. There'll be like a 2 kilometer ride, and they'll be like, oh, 50 euros for that, sir, and then they kind of trap you. So use the apps to avoid getting scammed, and yeah, just have fun. Don't uh, don't go too crazy, and yeah, it's a pretty safe country. So nothing actually happening. And maybe if they're driving in Romania, they have to plan ahead, because sometimes the roads are missing or they're under construction and they need to plan ahead. It's not so easy to get from A to B inside the country.
Sure. Um, for for anyone that's sort of listening in right now,
Yep.
who are comedians and comedy promoters in Romania that are unsung heroes that they should know about?
Yeah, comedians. I would first shout out the ones that are doing it in English. So it's Radu Isaac, Dragos Comedy, and Victor Pătrășcan. That's the big names that are touring Europe right now. And in terms of acts, we have like a lot of great acts, but they're doing it in Romania. For example, this guy, Bobonete, that's his name. He has like a TV show, a series on TV, and he just sold out, I think last year, the Hammersmith Apollo, just with Romanian crowd. That's amazing. And he's doing it again this year. It's like 4,000 people. So go to a comedy club. All the clubs are around the big names. So whenever you go to a club, you'll see a headliner that's doing big shows. So it's fun. And in terms of promoters, I think we have Headline Comedy. That's one of the groups, and then Punchline Comedy. That's another promoter. And we also have Lifehouse Comedy. That's hosting international acts. Like they had Russell Howard, they had Jimmy Carr, they had Gabriel Iglesias. So Lifehouse Comedy is the one that is hooking up the international acts, but usually big acts. Like Louis C.K. is coming next year through this Lifehouse. And I myself, I'm hosting some shows. I talk to some people here who want to go to Bucharest. So if there are many smaller comedians want to do an English gig, hit me up and I'll hook you on something. Like I'm currently working at a smaller club. It's just a 30-seater, but it's really good. It's called Lloyd's Comedy Club, and it's good for trying out smaller shows. Definitely recommend that.
Okay. And if they want to find out about you and they want to get in contact with you, where
Yeah,
do they contact you?
yeah, they can find me on. Maybe the name is harder, but maybe it will be in the title of the episode. I'm on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I have some English sets there, and yeah, I really love talking email. So if anyone wants to really contact me, my email is calin.georgiu97 at gmail.com. hit me up there. And if you're ever in Bucharest or in Romania and you want to do comedy, let me know and I will hook you up. Or if you want to play chess, but hopefully you want to do comedy.
Or both, chess comedy.
Chess comedy, yeah, that's missing. The market needs that chess comedy and costume. A costume chess comedian. That will be the perfect mix.
You're gonna dress up as Superman.
Yeah, a super chessman or something like that.
Yes.
I'll find some costume.
Right, guys. I hope you've all enjoyed Calin.
What about you,
Uh,
Marvin? What are you up to? Tell the
I
people. They want to know what's the next
right,
show.
right. Well, the next show is gonna be on August 15th. The next guest that I'm gonna have on is going to be who's the next guest I've got on? No, I'm looking to get some dodgy guests. So the next guest that I want
Dodgy
to get
guest.
on
We'll get dodgier than this guy, than me, than the
yes, a
Romanian
lot
chess
more
player.
dodgy than you.
We need the Willyman. Get the Willyman on.
I'm gonna get the Willyman on. He's gonna show it on the video. We're gonna get also the wonderful. I'm gonna try and get some gang members on the podcast.
Whoa,
Former
okay,
gang
this.
members. I had a human trafficker and I had a former football hooligan, but I want to get a few gang members, on comedians on the podcast. Like I think that's what I'm going to do. Some mad stories in there, and I'm probably going to get some more clowns in the podcast. But yeah, that's how it's going to go. Asian Zorro is always going to be around. I'll see you guys soon, if not through a window. Okay.
Okay.